On a quiet Saturday morning, Mary Parker, a 35-year-old single mother, stood in her small kitchen flipping pancakes as sunlight streamed through the windows. Her 10-year-old son, Eli, sat at the table wearing dinosaur pajamas, swinging his legs as he excitedly talked about his science project. "Mom, my volcano is going to explode bigger than last time," he said, waving his fork in the air as syrup dripped to his plate. Mary laughed and reached over to wipe his chin. It felt like a perfect morning, the kind a mother wishes she could freeze forever. Their two-story house in suburban Columbus had become their safe place after Mary's divorce 3 years earlier. She and Eli rebuilt their life, slowly creating new routines, new dreams, and new memories. The walls were covered with Eli's artwork, honor roll certificates, and photos of him smiling through every difficult milestone. Mary loved mornings like this when nothing felt rushed and Eli's laughter filled every room. But as she poured more batter into the pan, a strange feeling tugged at her chest. She had noticed her younger sister, Anna, parked across the street earlier. Anna never visited without a reason. The uneasy feeling deepened when the doorbell rang sharply, cutting off Eli mid-sentence. "Mom, who's that?" he asked, still holding his project notes. Mary wiped her hands on her apron and walked to the door with a gentle smile forming on her face, until she opened it. 2 police officers stood on the porch, their expressions serious. Behind them stood Anna, her lips curved into a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She held her phone up as if she were recording the moment. Mary felt her stomach twist. Something was wrong, something deeply wrong. "Ma'am," Officer Harris said politely, "we're sorry to interrupt your morning, but we received a complaint we must investigate." Mary blinked, confused. "A complaint?" Before she could say more, Anna stepped forward dramatically. "Mary, I didn't want to do this," she said, "but I have to protect myself. My diamond necklace is missing, and I have proof that Eli took it when he visited me on Tuesday." Mary stared at her sister in disbelief. "Eli has never been to your apartment, Anna." "Not once." But Anna only folded her arms and said, "Then explain why witnesses saw him." Just then, Eli walked toward them holding his notes. "Mom, what's going on?" he whispered when he saw the officers. Officer Reed knelt to his level. "Son, we just want to ask about a missing necklace." Eli's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't take anything," he said, shaking his head. Anna stepped forward sharply. "He's lying," she snapped. "Yesterday he even threatened me." Mary's jaw dropped. "Anna, that's not true. Eli was with me at his school conference yesterday." But the officers insisted they needed to search Eli's room. Mary stepped aside, heart pounding. Something terrible was unfolding. Mary followed the officers upstairs, her hands shaking as they walked into Eli's neatly arranged room. His telescope pointed toward the window, his rock collection lined up on the shelf, and his backpack resting beside his desk. Officer Reed opened the backpack first. Mary kept one arm wrapped around Eli as he trembled. "It's okay, sweetheart," she whispered. "They won't find anything." But then Reed reached into the front pocket and slowly pulled out a silver necklace that sparkled in the sunlight. Anna gasped loudly. "That's it. That's Grandma's necklace." Eli stepped back, terrified. "Mom, I swear I've never seen that." Before Mary could respond, their mother, Donna, stormed into the room. "I knew this would happen," Donna shouted. She pointed at Eli with shaking hands. "That boy is trouble, just like his father. Always acting out. Always needing attention." Mary spun toward her mother, stunned. "Mom, what are you talking about? Eli has never been in trouble. Not once." But Donna ignored her and continued. "He needs discipline. Maybe this will finally teach him a lesson." Tears streamed down Eli's face as he whispered, "Grandma, I didn't do anything." Mary pulled him close, fury burning inside her. Officer Harris cleared his throat. "Ma'am, given the evidence, we need to take your son to the station for processing. You may follow us there." Mary felt the world tilt beneath her feet. "Processing? He's 10 years old," she shouted. Officer Reed gently pulled out child-sized handcuffs. Eli let out a frightened cry. "Please don't, please." Mary knelt in front of him, holding his face. "Eli, listen to me. You didn't do anything wrong. Believe you. I'm right behind you." The click of the handcuffs echoed through the room like a nightmare. Anna recorded everything, smiling triumphantly. As they led Eli outside, neighbors gathered along the sidewalk, whispering as they watched the handcuffed child walk toward the police car. Eli looked back at Mary one last time, his voice shaking. "Mom, please help me." Mary felt her heart shatter. "I'm coming, sweetheart. I'm right here," she called out. But Anna and Donna stood on the porch whispering to each other with smug expressions. "Maybe now you'll admit he isn't perfect," Donna said coldly. Anna added, "I warned you, Mary. If you'd raised him properly, we wouldn't be here." Mary stared at them, realizing something darker was happening. Mary refused to waste another second arguing. She grabbed her phone and immediately called Sarah Clark, her closest friend from college and now a skilled defense attorney. Sarah answered on the second ring. "Mary, what's wrong?" Mary's voice broke as she explained everything. Sarah's tone shifted instantly. "I'm heading to the station. Do not let them question Eli without me. And Mary, start documenting everything. This feels staged." Mary drove behind the police car, gripping the steering wheel tightly. Anna and Donna had crossed a line. They weren't just attacking her now, they were attacking her child. The drive to the station felt endless. Every red light felt like punishment, every turn too slow, every second without Eli unbearable. Mary kept replaying his trembling voice in her head. "Mom, please help me." When she finally reached the station, she rushed inside and found the front desk officer. "My son, Eli Parker, was just brought in," she said breathlessly. "He's only 10. I need to see him." The officer typed quickly. "He's with his attorney now. Sarah Clark arrived a few minutes ago." Relief washed over Mary. At least Eli wasn't alone. But the fight was just beginning. Mary sat in the waiting area, her foot tapping uncontrollably as she opened her laptop. She remembered Sarah's words. "Document everything." She began typing every detail of the morning, from Anna's strange appearance to Donna's cruel insults to the sudden discovery of the necklace. After nearly an hour, Sarah finally walked out of the juvenile division doors. Her face was tight with anger. "Mary," she said firmly, "Eli says Anna came to your house on Thursday. She said she needed old photos and he let her in. She was alone in his room. That's when she planted the necklace." Mary's mouth fell open. Thursday had been the one day Eli stayed home alone for a short time after school. Their usual babysitter had called in sick. "He told her to wait in the living room," Sarah continued. "But she asked for water and walked around freely. Eli trusted her because she was family." Mary shook her head in disbelief. "Why would Anna do something this sick?" Sarah pulled out her tablet. "Because she's desperate. My investigator checked. Anna was fired 2 weeks ago for stealing from her job. $20,000. And now she's broke, angry, and blaming you." A cold realization washed through Mary. Anna had always been jealous of Mary's stability, her home, her son's achievements. But this was something else. "There's more," Sarah added. "Your mother took out a second mortgage. The money went directly to Anna." Mary felt nauseous. "They're coming after my inheritance," she whispered. Sarah nodded. "Yes, they're trying to make you look like a negligent mother. If Eli gets labeled a problem child, they think they can push for guardianship or financial compensation." Mary felt fury rise like a storm. "They went after my son," she whispered. "They crossed everything." At that moment, the juvenile officer opened the door and Eli walked out, looking tiny and frightened. When he saw Mary, he sprinted toward her, throwing his arms around her waist. "Mom," he sobbed. "I didn't do it." Mary lifted his face gently. "I know, sweetheart. I believe you." Sarah joined them. He's released to your custody, but the case isn't closed. We need evidence. Mary wiped Eli's tears. We'll get it. I promise. As they walked out of the station, Mary noticed Anna's social media post already spreading. Had to protect myself today. Pray for us. Rage tightened Mary's chest. Mary brought Eli home and settled him on the couch with warm tea, wrapping a blanket around his shoulders. She kissed his forehead. I'll fix this, baby. After calling their trusted babysitter, Mrs. Patterson, Mary met Sarah outside with a determined expression. Our neighbor, Mr. Peterson. He has cameras everywhere, Mary said. Sarah's eyes brightened. Perfect. Let's go. When Mr. Peterson opened the door, he looked worried. Mary dear, what happened this morning? I saw the police. Mary explained everything, her voice trembling. His concern turned into anger. That boy is innocent, he said. Come inside. Let me show you something. Mr. Peterson led them to his computer and pulled up Thursday's footage. Look here, he said, pressing play. There, at 2:47 p.m., Anna's silver car appeared in Mary's driveway. School ends at 3:15, Mary whispered. She knew Eli wasn't home yet. The footage showed Anna entering the house with a large purse and leaving later looking satisfied. Mr. Peterson handed Sarah a USB drive. I saved the clip. I knew something didn't sit right with me. Mary exhaled shakily. This proves she planted it. Sarah smiled tightly. And we're just getting started. Let's move. Before leaving, Mr. Peterson shook his head sadly. Mary, this isn't the first time Anna's caused trouble. Remember the garden gnomes incident? Mary blinked. She had forgotten. Years ago, Anna blamed toddler Eli for breaking their mother's lawn decorations, when it was actually her own friends. The memory stung. Anna had always found a way to twist blame. As Sarah and Mary walked back to the car, Sarah's phone buzzed. Good timing, she murmured. My investigator found the receipt. Anna bought that exact necklace on Wednesday. Same style, same chain. Mary closed her eyes. She framed a child, her own nephew. Mary straightened her shoulders. I want to press charges. All of them. False reporting, child endangerment, everything. Sarah nodded firmly. We will. But first we need to present this evidence to the prosecutor. They drove to the prosecutor's office, and though it was Saturday, Sarah had connections. Assistant District Attorney Mark Willis reviewed the footage and receipts carefully. His expression hardened. A planned accusation against a 10-year-old, he said. We'll drop the charges against Eli today. And we're opening an investigation into Anna Harper for conspiracy. Relief flooded Mary, followed quickly by a fierce determination. When Mary returned home, Eli was building his volcano with Mrs. Patterson beside him. He looked up with worried eyes. Mom, am I in trouble? Mary knelt and hugged him tightly. No, sweetheart. The charges are gone. You're safe, Eli whispered. Will Aunt Anna say sorry? Mary hesitated, stroking his hair. I don't know, baby. But she will face consequences for what she did. That night, after he fell asleep, Mary stood by his door watching him breathe peacefully. Her voice trembled as she whispered, I promise, Eli. No one will ever hurt you like this again. On Sunday morning, Mary woke to a flood of missed calls and messages. Some were from neighbors offering support, others from people asking what happened after seeing Anna's dramatic post online. But one message stood out. It was from Jenny Moore, a woman who had worked with Anna at her former company. Mary called her immediately. Jenny's voice was tense. Mary, I'm probably breaking rules by telling you this, but you need to know. Anna didn't steal $20,000. She stole closer to 50. She created fake vendor accounts. She even sold our client list. She blames you for getting caught. Mary felt her stomach twist. Why me? What did I do? Jenny sighed. She told everyone you took her inheritance, ruined her relationship with your father, and had the perfect life while she struggled. She's convinced herself you caused all her problems. Mary closed her eyes. The jealousy went deeper than she'd thought. After thanking Jenny, she immediately called Sarah. Sarah listened and said, "This changes everything. We're moving into extortion and long-term fraud territory now." Mary looked toward Eli's room and whispered, "She hurt my son because she hates my life." Sarah answered, "And now she'll face the law." That evening Mary's phone buzzed again, but this time it was Donna, her mother. Sarah had told Mary to record every interaction, so she pressed record and answered. Donna's voice was cold. "Mary, this has gone too far. Drop this nonsense against your sister and we'll drop the charges against Eli." Mary steadied her breath. "There are no charges to drop, Mom." The prosecutor closed the case. "There's footage of Anna planting the necklace." Donna paused, stunned. "Footage?" Mary continued, "Yes. And a store receipt proving she bought the necklace herself." Donna's voice trembled. "Mary, you wouldn't expose this publicly." "Oh, I will," Mary said firmly. "And I know about your mortgage, Mom. You gave Anna money you didn't have. You helped her try to take my inheritance. But you crossed the line when you called my son a destructive brat." Donna's breath hitched. "You don't understand. Anna deserved more. Your father, he always favored you. It wasn't fair." Mary's anger ignited. "Dad gave me more because I worked for it. And even if you disagreed, that doesn't justify framing a child." Donna's voice weakened. "Family forgives." Mary answered coldly. "Family protects. You did neither." Then she ended the call. On Monday morning, Mary walked Eli to school, wanting him to feel safe again. Parents whispered as they passed, but his teacher, Mrs. Roberts, greeted him warmly. "Eli, everyone here believes in you," she said gently. "Your project is still on the list for Wednesday's presentations." Eli's eyes brightened. "Really?" Mary nodded gratefully toward the teacher. After dropping him off, she joined Sarah to file restraining orders against both Anna and Donna. They submitted the security footage, the receipts, and screenshots of Anna's threatening voicemails. Sarah looked at Mary. "We're building a solid case," she said. "They won't escape this." That night, Anna called 17 times, every call going to voicemail. Her messages grew more frantic. "Mary, please. This is getting out of hand." Another message said, "You're ruining my life. I only wanted what I deserved." But the last voicemail chilled Mary to her core. Anna's voice was slurred. "You think you've won, Mary? You always win. Dad loved you more. Everyone loves you more. But I know things about you. Things that could destroy you. Stop this or I swear I'll ruin you." Mary sent the audio to Sarah immediately. Sarah replied, "That's a threat. This works in our favor." On Tuesday morning, 3 families from the neighborhood contacted Mary privately. Each had their own story about Anna accusing someone of stealing something from her. One family said Anna claimed their teenage son vandalized her car. Security footage proved it was random strangers. Another family said Anna accused their dog Walker of stealing jewelry she never even owned. "We should have warned you," one neighbor said. "She does this when she needs money or attention." Their support touched Mary deeply. "If you need witnesses," the neighbor added, "we'll be there." It reminded Mary that sometimes strangers cared more than family. That afternoon Sarah called with urgent news. "The prosecutor is taking this very seriously, Mary. False accusations against children are rare but heavily punished." Before Mary could reply, Sarah added, "There's more. Anna's former boss, David, wants to speak with us. He has messages from Anna describing her plan to frame someone for theft. She's been thinking about this for months." Mary felt numb. Months? She planned to hurt Eli months in advance. Sarah sighed. "Yes. And now she's losing control. Be careful, Mary. She may try something reckless." Mary nodded, her voice firm. "Let her try. I'm ready." Mary didn't expect Anna to show up at her door that same evening, pounding furiously. "Mary, open up. We need to talk." Mary grabbed Eli and moved him to the back hallway. "Sarah said to call the police," she whispered to him. She dialed immediately. Outside, Anna shouted, "You ruined everything. You stole Dad's love, his money, everything. It should have been mine." Her voice cracked with drunken rage. "I should have been the heir. Not you. Not your perfect little brat." Eli trembled, burying his face into Mary's side. She held him tightly until flashing lights appeared outside. 2 officers approached Anna, who staggered backwards, shouting, "Mary always wins. But guess what? I'm pregnant. And when I tell David's wife, everyone's life will fall apart." The officers restrained her for violating the restraining order. As they led her away, neighbors gathered once again, but this time their sympathy was with Mary and Eli. When the street grew quiet, Mary finally exhaled. Eli whispered, "Mom, why does she hate us so much?" Mary kissed his forehead. "Because she's hurting inside, baby. But that doesn't excuse what she did. And she won't hurt us again." Another step toward justice had begun. Wednesday arrived with a mixture of nerves and hope. It was the day Eli would finally present his volcano project. Mary sat quietly in the back of the classroom while Eli spoke with confidence about magma chambers and tectonic plates. His classmates clapped loudly when his volcano erupted with red foam. The joy on his face warmed Mary's heart. After school, Sarah met them with good news. Anna has been formally charged with false reporting, conspiracy, and violating the restraining order. She won't be released soon. Mary squeezed Eli's hand gently. "See, sweetheart. Truth always rises, just like your volcano." The next day brought another knock on Mary's door, but this time it wasn't police or trouble. It was Evelyn Walsh, Donna's longtime neighbor. The older woman looked determined. "Mary, I've kept quiet too long. After what they did to that boy, I can't stay silent." She handed Mary a folder thick with papers. Inside were transcripts from her security system, recordings of Donna and Anna talking in the backyard weeks earlier. Evelyn whispered, "They planned this, dear. They talked about framing Eli, making you look unfit, forcing you to share the inheritance." Mary felt her throat tighten. Proof. Actual proof. Mary and Sarah listened to the recordings together. Donna's voice was unmistakable as she said, "When she sees her perfect boy in trouble, she'll pay anything." Anna laughed coldly in another clip. "A kid's word means nothing. 2 adults can say whatever we want." Mary covered her mouth, shaking. "They used my child as bait," she whispered. Sarah's eyes hardened. "These recordings change the case completely. We're upgrading everything. They won't walk away from this." Mary nodded slowly. "Do it. They didn't just betray me. They betrayed a 10-year-old boy who trusted them. Nothing would be forgiven now." The prosecutor wasted no time. With the new recordings, the charges against Anna were elevated to include child endangerment and attempted extortion. Donna, at her age, faced charges as an accessory and was placed under investigation. Local news stations picked up the story within days. Aunt and grandmother conspired to frame 10-year-old for theft. People across the city were horrified. Former co-workers stepped forward. Neighbors volunteered statements. The truth gathered supporters, while lies collapsed under their own weight. Mary watched everything unfold, not with pride but with relief. "This isn't revenge," she whispered to Sarah. "This is protection." 2 months later, the courthouse was packed for Anna's sentencing. Eli sat beside Mary, nervous but brave. Anna stood before the judge looking pale and defeated. Her once perfect blonde hair was unkempt, and her voice cracked as she tried to explain herself. I was desperate. I needed money. Mary always had everything." But the judge shook her head. "Desperation does not justify harming a child." She sentenced Anna to 18 months in prison, plus probation and restitution. Eli squeezed Mary's hand. "Mom, is it over now?" Mary looked at him with tears in her eyes. Almost, sweetheart. Donna's sentencing was quieter but still painful. She faced 6 months of house arrest and was ordered to complete 200 hours of community service at a youth center. As she stood before Mary afterward, Donna whispered, "I'm sorry. I failed you, and him." Mary met her eyes but felt nothing. "Sorry doesn't fix what you chose to do," she said calmly. Donna lowered her head. "I hope one day you'll forgive me." Mary shook her head gently. "I forgive for my peace, not yours. But forgiveness doesn't erase consequences." Donna nodded sadly and walked away, smaller than Mary had ever seen her. Life slowly returned to normal. Eli continued therapy, learning to rebuild trust and confidence. He still flinched when he saw police cars, but he grew stronger each week. Mary started a support group for parents whose children had been falsely accused. Their stories reminded her she wasn't alone, and soon the group grew into a full non-profit offering legal guidance and emotional support. Eli sometimes joined the meetings. He would smile shyly at other kids and say, "It's not your fault. Grown-ups who lie are the ones who should feel bad, not you." His courage inspired everyone who heard him speak. A year passed, and Mary and Eli moved to a new home across town, a smaller place but filled with peace. They visited Mr. Peterson often, bringing cookies and listening to his stories about his late wife. Sarah became part of their weekly routine, joining them for Sunday dinner and sharing updates about her cases. Eli admired her deeply. "One day," he said proudly, "I'll be a lawyer too. I want to help other kids like me." Mary felt her heart swell. "You'll be amazing," she told him. His trauma had not broken him. It had transformed him into something stronger. 2 years later, news arrived that Anna had been arrested again, this time in another state for running a scam targeting elderly people. She now faced federal charges. Mary felt no satisfaction, no anger, only distance. "She chose her path," she told Sarah quietly. Donna passed away alone in her apartment months later, leaving behind a small box of belongings and a letter addressed to Eli. Mary placed it in a safe spot. "He'll decide one day if he wants to read it," she said softly. Their family was no longer defined by blood. It was defined by love, loyalty, and truth. On a peaceful Saturday morning, Mary stood in the kitchen flipping pancakes, just like the day everything changed. Eli, now older and taller, worked on a school project about ethics and technology. "Mom," he said, "do you think what happened to us could help others?" Mary smiled gently. "It already has, sweetheart. And it'll help more." He walked over and hugged her tightly. "We survived, didn't we?" She kissed the top of his head. "Yes, baby. We survived because we protected the truth, and each other." The doorbell rang. Neither flinched. Their world was safe now, built not from blood but from love that never breaks.